It was two mornings in a row.
About the owl. I like the one about the owl.
So the first morning was not as good as the second. The first morning we get out there and wasn't much going on. We heard some gobbling. And so we go down there and Butch like, we're just gonna sit on this field. Now Butch would get pretty close to me. And I don't know, the owl kept flying up and he would owl. And this owl like literally flew down and landed in a tree next to us and he was owling, so the turkeys were gobbling.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this turkey, we're sitting on a field, I could hear him gobbling but couldn't see him. And all of a sudden here comes this turkey, he just flies down out of nowhere and just lands right out in front of me in the middle of this field.
Now, you know, you can't do anything but shoot the gobbler.
Right.
And there was no way that he could tell whether it was a hen or a gobbler.
And
you don't want to shoot the hen.
And I just, out of instincts, I was like, holy shit, that's him. And so I pulled the trigger.
Boop, boop.
And then we go over there. Luckily, it was a Jake. His beard was about that
He
long.
couldn't see the beard, but he was lucky. It was a young turkey gobbler. They call him a Jake.
So that was Saturday morning. The best one was Sunday morning. And Butch's like, nah, we gotta do better than that. We gotta get you a better turkey. So we went back out, same place out at Cedar Grove.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there and kind of the same situation. We were on a couple. Couldn't get any of them to come to us. And then we went up to this big field, but it's like he's like, he's got later in the morning, he said, they've already henned up. They already got hens with them. It's gonna be difficult to call them off. He said, let's just go glass this field. So we ease up on the edge of this field and sure enough, there's 2 or 3 of them just out there fanned out. They got hens all with them and he's like, this is gonna be tough. He's like, he said, let's back off the field. And he said, let's get down this logging road. And so he set up and he said, if they come, he said, they're gonna come straight down this road. And he said, they're gonna be pissed. He said, so get ready. He said, he said, go ahead and have your gun up, because when I tell you they're coming, they're coming. And so instead of him, you know, he let him know where we were, but then he started, instead of using his hen call, he started gobbling at them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they thought it was some dominant gobblers. Mm-hmm. So they left those hens and I mean, took a V-line and walked right up the edge of that field. And all of a sudden they got to the edge. See, there's 3 of them. And they got to the edge of that field and they kept walking. My heart sank because I was like, they're not coming down this road. And he said, get ready. And he gobbled one more time and they took, I mean, literally they turned around and marched right down that freaking logging road and I shot the first one. They came down that logging road. It was the one you mounted.
I mounted that one.
Yeah, he mounted that one.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
But I mean, they were pissed. I mean, you could hear them just drumming coming down that road. They were
There's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
So, it'll make the hair on your neck
Yeah, well, when
stand.
they're in full strut, that's when they're pretty.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
Mhm.